We're rolling.
Okay, Peter, just very quickly, I wanted to show you do you remember the Universal Cafe? That's where we had brunch several times. And we just finished brunch today on Sunday. And I just wanted to show you our brunch friends. And they want to add their greetings to your birthday.
Hi, Peter. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. The camera adds 10 pounds and plus the big jackets, you know, so.
Hi, Peter. We're all thinking about you.
Happy birthday, Peter.
Go. Do the intro.
No, I'm not going to do it here.
Sure, do it here.
We're going to walk into the park a bit so you can walk backwards. I'm not supposed to be walking backwards. You're supposed to be walking backwards. Well, let's get over to the park. This place, and we can't take up too much time because there's a whole crowd of you there, so I don't want to waste a lot of time. I just want to go through a few things that we'll be doing on this video, and it's mostly about, because you remember I archive stuff, right? I've got photos and things from our past. So what I'm going to do is just show a few of those photos of our past, because we've done a lot of things together, we've had a lot of fun together, we've had a lot of adventures together, and I just want to show, and I'm calling it Peter's Life, Fashion and Haircuts Through the Decades. Terry, I'm not here next weekend, so you have to organize it through David or someone else.
Okay. Bye, David.
Hi Peter, greetings from Montreal. I'm here to say happy birthday on your 60th birthday. I'm very glad to be part of it, at least in this video way. I'm sorry I can't be there physically to celebrate with you, especially when the big party's at the Vauxhall Tavern, which I'd love to be there. But that can't happen, so here I am saying hello to you and wishing you a happy birthday. You've been a great friend over the years, and I really appreciate that, and I want to thank you very much. You've helped me in ways that probably you don't even realize. We first met back in 73 or 74, and I'm sure you remember King William IV in Hampstead. We chatted each other up, I guess. We left together, but you took me, instead of home, you took me up to Hampstead Heath and escorted me for the first time into that delightful place and you took me into where groups of men were having sex together, and it was such a shock and delight for me. I went back many times just to make sure it was still the same, but you were the first one there to take me there, and really appreciate that. So what we're going to do with help of my friend Frederick is going to as you know, I archive my past, and you've seen my slideshows, so you're going to see a few of those past photos of things we did together, and for everyone else, I hope it's interesting too. I call it Peter's Past, a trip through the decades in style, fashion, and haircuts. Okay, let's go take a look. What if I should... Peter, you remember this 1974, December, with Andrew up in Edinburgh? That was our first trip together. And then we zoom up to 1980, that wonderful summer we had when we went to Eastern Europe. And here you are cruising in Kassel in West Germany before we headed to East Germany. And this is Dresden. And you can see yourself over here at the left-hand side. And we were quite intrigued by the old communists here, but we got to Prague, and here's some American friends we met. Several of the pictures I found of you had you with a book in your hand, and like me, we love the guidebooks and the maps. Here we are in Budapest. This is me wearing the lovely jean cut-off shorts, very attractive. And of course, do you remember this wonderful island in the middle of the river in Budapest, which had these warm springs, and the cruising on top of the roof, and also in the sunbathing area just for men. Quite delightful, those Eastern Europeans. And here you are in your in our accommodation, again with the map and the guidebook. Oh, do you remember these boys we picked up hitchhiking, and we exchanged money with them. Northern Yugoslavia, which you told me later, was one of the areas of the most intense fighting during the Bosnian War, and so that was very different from the days when we were there in 1980. These boys were straight, as I remember, so not every other man in these photos are ones we've had sex with. Here you are in Sarajevo with lovely slim hips, and at the point where Archduke Ferdinand got assassinated, and that's why all the tourists are there. And there we are in Dubrovnik, wonderful city, as you know, with your nice white trimmed shorts. And of course, I'm so embarrassed with this picture, but I can't help but show it. Again, white trims on the shorts seem to be in fashion with the matching green band. I just loved it. And this is going to Rab Island. Remember, that was the great nudist island in the Adriatic Sea. So now we're going to jump to July 82. Because on that trip you kept talking about a Wesley, and I met Wesley back in the apartment, back in the flat when we got back to London, and that was the kitchen that we spent many hours in. And here we are in about, I think, 85 or so at a gay pride, one of the gay pride marches in London with that fetching fedora. And this is in Andrew's Garden in Oxford when we went up visiting one time. And this is one of the gay pride, I think it was 1990. And there's Terry in the back too, and myself with another friend of mine, Ronnie. So now we're jumping all the way to September 2003, because I came back and visited you over the time, but in the 2000s, all of a sudden there was this huge gang of friends that you had in the neighborhood, and I was really happy to be part of that group and to be brought in whenever I visited. So really enjoyed it, and of course we were impressed at that time as Canadians of how many people use cell phones. And so there's the crowd outside, looking handsome as ever, and it contrasts to our brunch crowd, which you'll see later. There's another beehive shot, and I'm sure you're still going there. There's us looking very handsome on the steps. This is still 2003, and there's Terry too, at the same time in your front living room, and my David on the left-hand side there. His first introduction to the wild London scene. So now we're skipping, because you did come over to Canada quite a few times, and I thought maybe you and some of your friends would want to see some of the places you've been. You came up to our cottage in Ontario too that summer, and we relaxed a lot in the sun, and you relaxed on the couch too because it's very comfy there, and you were a bit scared in the boat, but still that was to be expected for a Brit, no problem there. A bit more relaxing too in the sunburn, of course, but still it was a great time. I'm so glad you came over. It was a delight to have you there. So now we're back to my London September 2005 trip. So we're back to London now. It's 2 years later, and the delights of your gang are improving. And this was the afternoon in Simon's Garden, which was quite a lot of fun. There we are lying around, and there's Simon pointing his delightful finger. And we also, of course, had our interactions with your nice roommate, Daniel. And here we are again. And then, of course, the lineup at the Vauxhall Tavern, which was quite an institution I had to get involved with. And we had a bit of prancing up and down the street as we waited to get in to get tickets. And here it is halfway through the evening with the evidence of the fun times. And I got these pictures, which I think are quite amazing, of the joy inside. And it's I'm sure it's still the same. I'm not sure if it looks the same tonight, this afternoon during your party, but I'm sure it'll be like that later on today. There's some nice smooching and some whispers across the crowded floor. So there we are. That's the. This is still the September 2005 trip, and more resting. And I came back late one night and found you sleeping on the couch, always caring for other people, as always. And this is the last day before I went, you snuggling into Simon. There's Terry again, and I took off that day. And now we're back, just to finish off, back in Montreal. This is when you came to visit a few years earlier. when you came over with your friend Benji from San Francisco. And why I'm finishing here is because here's our brunch group taken a few years ago in the sun, and that's it. Okay, bye. Peter's life, trip through the styles and haircuts over the last decades. I repeated things too, but you don't see my feet up like this, do you? Or do you? What, you're going to do it again?